Well, it's now 7 p.m. and we're going to call the regular scheduled board meeting for February 13th to order. We do have a quorum of the board here present. We're going to stand for the pledges and the invocation. The pledge by Mr. Molinex and the invocation by Mr. Rector.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Heavenly Father, we come again at this hour to thank you for the many blessings that you have bestowed upon us. I want to thank you, God, for just being better to us than we could ever be to ourselves. We thank you, Heavenly Father, for just watching over our students and watching over our staff. We pray that your blessings upon this board. Pray that you touch our hearts, touch our minds, enable us to make the best decision that we can make. And we ask this in Jesus' name. For his sake we do pray. Amen.
The APISD Board of Trustees would like to recognize the Panthers of the Month and the Employees of the Month for January. So we'll have Mr. Rector is going to go up and take our pictures, and Ms. Branch is going to read out our students. Okay, our first student is Enoch Gomez, known as EJ, from Falk Elementary. He is the son of Enoch and Ashley Escabel. Enoch is a first grader at Falk Early Childhood. In his spare time, he enjoys playing with his Xbox and his sisters, Audrey, Alexis, and Aaliyah. He likes school because he gets to go outside for recess and he gets to go to lunch. Enoch's goal is to become a vet when he grows up. He was selected as Panther of the Month because he is a dedicated student. He is helpful to his friends and his teacher. He also works hard in class and is a great student. Falk Early Childhood is proud to have Enoch Gomez Jr. as their Panther of the Month. And our next Panther of the Month is Darian Joseph Salone. He is the son of William Salone and San Juanita Gomez. He is a third grader at W.A. Keeber Elementary. In his spare time, he enjoys watching television and helping to take care of his little sister. He likes school because he loves learning. Darren isn't sure what he would like to be when he grows up, but he was selected as Panther of the Month because he is such a sweet boy and polite with a positive attitude. He tries very hard with his academics and is the first one to help with any task. He was nominated as Panther of the Month by his teachers. Keeber Elementary is proud to have Darian Joseph Salone as their Panther of the Month. Campus Panther of the Month for Charlie Marshall Elementary is Isaiah Applewhite. He is the fifth grader at Charlie Marshall Elementary School. He is always very respectful and always puts others first. We are very proud of his hard work and dedication. He is the son of Kelly Applewhite. He will have a brand new baby brother and he is so excited to meet him. Isaiah does have pets. His favorite hobbies are playing basketball and video games. His favorite color is black and his favorite subject in school is social studies. He hopes to become a professional basketball player or a professional track runner when he grows up. Please join us in congratulating Isaiah Applewhite as our January Panther of the Month. Our next Panther of the Month for AC Blunt Middle School is Heliana Longoria. She's a 6th grade student at AC Blunt, and she's the daughter of Abel and Jessica Longoria. She has a sister in 7th grade named Lexiana. In her spare time, she enjoys spending time with her friends and her 2 dogs, Boss and Rocky. She also enjoys playing softball. Her favorite subject is math. After college, Heliana wants to be a game warden. She was selected as Panther of the Month because she is a dedicated student. She's very respectful and treats others fairly and cares for others. AC Blunt is proud to have Heliana Longoria as their Panther of the Month. Last but not least is the Aransas Pass High School Panther of the Month, and it is Nicholas Garcia. He is the only son of Angie and Felipe Garcia. Nick is a senior this year, and he enjoys playing baseball. After he graduates, he plans to attend Texas A&M Corpus Christi and major in chemical engineering. He was nominated for Panther of the Month because of his outstanding qualities: politeness, good citizenship, willingness to help other students in any situation, and kindness as well as sympathy toward others. Aransas Pass High School teachers and staff would like to congratulate Nick for his outstanding work. Congratulations, Nick. Next we have the Employee of the Month. In Falk Elementary, it is Lisa Bruce.
Reese.
You want to read the bio on her?
I know, I like to. Keyburger Employee of the Month is Christine Robinson. I do not see her. Christine. I don't see this one either. AC Blunt Middle School Employee of the Month is Lynette Davenport. I don't see her either. I'm going to put it in the wrong pile. Sorry, Charlie Marshall. Oh, yes, Charlie Marshall. Sorry, Charlie Marshall, Employee of the Month. It is Maria Sprayberry. Maria, you know I never leave you out of this. That's the last, yeah. Oh, Last but not least, the High School Employee of the Month is Carolyn Aguayo. Thank you, Cheryl. Again, congratulations to our
Thank you everyone for coming tonight. I know the parents and students and teachers have to go to school early in the morning, so we'll take a few moments. If you want to step out, you're more than welcome to stay with us. We have quite an agenda with full of information, but we understand if you need to leave. Thank you for coming. Thank you.
Before everybody goes,
back in.
Take care. Congratulations. Bye-bye. Take care. Take care. Congratulations. Take care.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is an information item. Everyone welcome Todd Randolin of Lamar, Womack and Associates. He's going to provide us an update on the new elementary school construction.
Thank you, board members, board superintendent. Going to kind of give a kind of quick presentation of the new elementary school. So the first slide is just basically an exterior rendering of the new kind of front of the elementary school. And go on to the next slide.
It'll take a
Oh, okay. Next slide is a site plan. Excuse me, John. Oh, you can use that. Sorry. Thank you. So this slide here is a site plan. You can see all the streets may be a little bit hard to see. There's Nelson, Goodnight, 8th Street. The existing school is kind of where the parking lot is right now. So that's where the existing school is. So it's going to be built on the Falk campus there. The hatched areas are the concrete driveways. They've got a bus drive, a bus loop up there with parking. Then you've got a student drop-off area here with some additional parking right in here. And then there's a kind of connector street alongside the two-story classroom building there. So the front of the building is the square there. That's the drop-off area, the secure entry. And then the existing gym is, you can see it's got a kind of a hatched roof there, so that's incorporating that existing gymnasium. We'll move on to the phasing plan. That's showing the existing site. The upper left-hand slide is the existing school in place. So that's phase one, building the campus behind the existing elementary school there. Second phase is demoing the existing Falk campus, and then the last phase is providing the parking areas, basically where the existing campus was. The overall composite plan is showing all the different classrooms. There's basically 35 classrooms in the facility. The main entry is right here. That's secured entry that's got a access control so that visitors come in, they check in, and they basically can't get into the rest of the school unless they're allowed to be in. All the exterior doors will be on access control as well, so they're locked during the day. So basically all the visitors have to come in the front door and be checked in. On the right-hand side of the very front of the building is the cafeteria, and then the kitchen is right behind that. So you can see basically all the serving tables in there. That's, I think, 275 spaces for the students to eat. On the left-hand side is the administration building with offices, teacher planning, nurses area, conference room, and some adult restrooms. If you go straight up and over to the left, you can see the media center or library. There's also a computer lab that's right off the library there. So it's accessible from the library or from the hallway. Right-hand side, we move on to classrooms. There's 7 classrooms there that are kindergarten classrooms. If we go right below that, that's your existing gym, incorporating the existing building there. Re-damp proofing that building, re-air conditioning it, new flooring, basically creating kind of a new space in there that blends in with the existing building. If we move on to the left-hand side, the pre-K classrooms are right in here. There's a group of 5 pre-K classrooms. Above that is first grade, and then toward the back of the building is the playground. So there's three exits that feed into the playground. The second floor basically is right over the center left-hand area here, and that's the second and third grade. And there's some additional classrooms up there. There's a part of a media center up there, a teacher planning room, of course restrooms, and I forgot to mention there's 2 life skills classrooms on the first floor, motor lab and a life skills classroom. If there's any questions, stop me and I'll try to go over those, try to answer the question. Just basically some sections cut through the building, kind of showing how the different classrooms are interrelated. The center one is the main entry, so there's a canopy that will, when the students come in, they'll be under the canopy, they'll go through that kind of towered building, which is a secured entry. The rest of these, there's just some technical drawings, basically some wall sections that show the construction of the building. They're showing the 2 levels of the project. And then this is where we're tying into the existing gym building. And then we've added a couple of, okay, this is a plan. I want to go ahead and show you a slide of the gymnasium that's going to be at the high school. This is a 1,000-seat gym. This is kind of in the early stages of design. You can see the basketball court. There's a concession area, restrooms, and some seating along the glass wall so that visitors can watch the game as they're eating. And then it ties into the existing building. And then we've got 2 dressing areas that are adjacent to the existing gym. And then your entry is off to the west.
How much seating did we allot in the gym?
There's seating for 1,500 on each side, and then maybe some additional seating along the front. But that's primarily what it is. This is going back to the elementary. We wanted to give you a couple of interior views. This is in the media center in the library. So you've got shelves are low so that the librarian can look over the entire library. You've got a reading nook on the back on the left-hand side here. Your circulation desk is right in here with the office behind it, some storage area, and then windows out to the playground that's facing north. Just another view kind of back the other way in the library, looking back towards the computer lab, which is got glass windows, and you kind of see the computers behind that glass. The other way, you kind of see the playground and the existing oak trees that are out there. So that's kind of taking advantage of the views. I think that's all I have. There is a video. You all may have seen the kind of the video. It's like a 90-second video. I can show it at this time if you want to see it. Not sure how to set that one up. But that kind of gives you a better overall picture of the building. We're trying to dress it up with some brick veneer, some different colors for the building, and nothing's really set in stone as far as colors, but we just tried to apply some colors to it. Try to bring the existing gym into the design of the building. So you kind of see the cars that's the drop-off area for students. So there's 2 lines that can drop off for students. There's the round balls or kind of ballers protect students from getting hit with cars, so they can exit, because that area needs to be pretty flat. So we have wheelchair access to the school. You got your main entry canopy there, kind of the tower designating the main entry to the building. You got your 2-story wing here, our 2-story classroom wing. On the back side is basically where you have a 3rd drop-off area, canopy there where the kids can be picked up, on that side of the building. See some of the windows in the building are kind of child height, so that kids can see out. The long narrow window is close to the teacher station, so she'll have a view outside. Stairwells, we try to put a little bit of lighting in the stairwell, windows in the stairwell, bring some light in. At the end of the corridors, we try to put some windows in to bring in some natural light there. Backside of the building, kind of the pop out areas are kind of teacher planning room, and then the media center on the top with some windows into the playground from both levels. Your library is right in here with windows that are a little bit more windows to face the playground. And then these are just classrooms that wrap around the existing gym and kind of ends up where the bus drop-off is, where you got a canopy so the students can go right into the new school, or they can go right into the gymnasium. So this is primarily where the staff will park. You can see the dumpsters are screened there. That's where the service drive is for the kitchen drop off. And they'll go in that canopy right there with all their commodities. The two large ones on the right, that's the cafeteria, or the dining room. If there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer
How many
those.
parking spots are?
I believe we have 59 spaces, 59 parking
59?
spaces. Yes, sir, right now. I think
Can we
there's-
talk about the existing gym? Because I know there were concerns with that gym. You know, it's had water in it before, the design now, when it rains, it does get water in it. So can you let our teachers know and our parents know exactly what we're going to be doing to remedy that?
Right, that building, a lot of it's basically, it's a split face block, and all the mortar is deteriorating that's holding all the brick together. And so water is just penetrating that block and getting down into the walls. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take that block off and we're gonna re-damp proof the entire building. And then we're gonna put another block over it to match the new building. And so also, areas where you do have water that may be coming in from the doors, well, right now, all that water's gonna be directed away because we're building some new classrooms around that entry. So we're effectively, pushing the water further away from the building. So if you saw a roof plan, if water was coming in between, it won't be able to do the same thing. So you're gonna be eliminating that factor. We're gonna also probably have to do a little bit of drainage back to where the storm drain ties in along that back driveway or back roadway there. Also, we're looking at re-air conditioning the building because the air conditioning units are fairly old. The other thing is the carpet, it's got carpet on the interior, and that really needs to go away.
Okay.
And, maybe bring in a rubber floor or something more conducive to, that application. And then, but structurally, it's a sound building. I mean, you've got a really nice, it's built in the 80s, it's fairly, it's not super old. So, I think it'd be a lot better to put money into that building than try to replace that square footage. That's over 6,000 square feet. That's a substantial space. So, that's our plan. Did I answer your question?
Yes. And for public information, the budget on that gym renovation itself is $300,000.
We're estimating it's probably in that range. Right, yes, ma'am.
So rest assured, we're gonna make sure that, the conditions there improve.
Yes, ma'am, definitely. You probably won't recognize it when it's complete. So, that's correct.
I got one question. We're gonna tear down the existing structure to put the parking lot in, so how long does that take before, to take account of existing building, put the parking lot in? Because at that point, we have no school for the kids to go into until we get that parking lot. We can do it without the parking lot, it just makes it easier if we have the parking lot available.
Right, yes, sir. We're trying to stage the demolition work to be during the summertime. That'd be ideal that we could start it this summer. And then the parking lot would come in right after that. As far as how long that's gonna take, typically it takes 2 to 3 months to knock those buildings down and get the site prepared for parking. And then it's probably gonna take another few months for the parking. So we're talking probably 5 to 6 months total.
So we're not gonna have a parking problem initially then, right?
We're gonna have, yes, sir. Yeah, we'll have to plan for that.
So timeframe wise, that was my next question for, the parents and the staff to start seeing work being done.
Right, we're projecting to start probably construction in May, I'm guessing somewhere around May, and it's gonna take probably 12 months to build, 12 or so months. So that'll end up getting you in the next school year, that next May, or by August of the next year. That's with good weather and a good contractor. And I think we've got maybe 5 or 6 contractors already interested in this project and that are calling us, they're ready to bid it. So that's a good sign.
Any other questions?
And we got a security system on the entry, in the entry for adequate security, right, where they have to check in?
Yes, sir. Yes,
That's all.
sir.
So we can secure parents or whoever going in before they get to the kids, so.
Definitely, yeah, we've got a set of doors there that are locked. You know, they may be open from 7:45 to 8, whenever, 8:15, but after that, they can be locked down, and then after that point, they have to be buzzed in by the receptionist. So, yes, sir, definitely.
Have we incorporated camera system also at that?
Right, we'll have a camera system that'll be integrated throughout the building as well. Yes, ma'am. We've had several meetings with staff, we've had meetings with technology, Jason, so everybody's, basically pulled in, and we all had an opportunity to talk about what they really need and what they want. So we're incorporating those items.
Correct, and we have, the board does have a list of concerns from staff and
Yes.
concerns from the public, from the meetings, and we're gonna take a look at all that too, and when we take a look at the final plans and everything. So,
Correct.
Looks good.
thanks, Bob.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bob. The next item on the agenda is an information item. The board welcomes the public and its comments regarding the new construction of the elementary school. Anyone signed up? Anyone signed up? Unless Mr. Fuentes can do it.
Oh, no, no.
The next item on the agenda is an action item. The minutes of the January 9th, 2017 regular board meeting was provided for the board for their review over the weekend. Do we have any comments or questions, corrections? Do I have a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion by Mr. Abrego.
Second.
Second by Mr. Rector. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The next item on the agenda is an information item. The accounts payable report was included for the board for their review. Are there any questions or comments? The next item on the agenda is another information item. The budget status and investment reports were included for the board to review. Those were for December and January. Any questions or comments? Everything's getting more expensive. Yes. Yeah. We look at the expenditures compared from 2014 to 2017. And we have, this year, we've got new buses, new vehicles for maintenance, so we are, buying high dollar items, of course, investing in the district, so those are good things, yes. The next item on the agenda was the tax collection report. I don't think so either.
You got two accounts payable,
Yeah.
January and December, production on tax.
Sorry. The next item on the agenda is another information item. The attendance report for the 36 weeks of the school year will be provided, or is provided for the board's review. Congratulations to Keyburger Elementary. Leading the pack.
In the high school's raised up to almost 94%.
Yeah,
So I
so
know
it's
that
fair.
if you go 94, you're almost got it, so.
Yeah, I think they've all been. It's hard to drag them out of bed, that's for sure.
Yeah, keep it.
There was around 2 holidays, so. The next item on the agenda is an action item. The Aransas Pass High School NJROTC has requested permission to attend the Texas A&M College Station State Meet. Congratulations to them. That's an annual event. They're very, very well recognized in the community for that, so we're very
just,
proud.
just for information, wise, this is the 12th consecutive year they qualify for states. So, you know, they got a good program going. I was there, I was privileged to go watch their annual military inspection, and the inspectors that came were just blown out of the water. They just said they had not seen a program that good. So we got a good program, and we're proud of it, so.
I think I saw some of the cadets right after they did the competition at the Waterbury, they was pumped up. They was getting excited.
Especially since our group has a lot of students from other campuses, you know, as well as Ingleside and Gregory Fort, and they come in, and they're in the competition too. So that, you know, that's more difficult for them because they're not all on the same campus, and they can't practice all together after school, so they have to do it individually at their own campus or someplace else. So that's just, you know, hats off to the RCC program to be able to work that and do a good job at it. So I know it's a difficult project, you know, the way they have to do everything, but they're doing a great job.
We're so glad when they would get a program going like that. Kids really excel.
Do I have a motion to approve the
I'll make
overnight
that
trip?
motion.
A second. A motion by Mr. Rector, a second by Mrs. Branch. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The next item on the agenda is to consider and approve the insurance renewals. Our property insurance is currently with Coastal Property Alliance of Texas, and our property casualty insurance is with Property Casualty Alliance of Texas.
Ms. Stansberry, we still satisfied they're doing a good job for us?
Yes, sir.
That's all they do.
Do we normally do a one-year policy on the CPAC?
Normally, it's a 1 year, but the rates have been so good that they're willing to lock in for a rate for 3 years. And so they've offered, right now we have a 2-year agreement, and they're offering us to go ahead and have a 3-year agreement.
Any thoughts or questions by the board on that? Go with the 1 year or?
So you kind of recommend 3 years because it's going to be more cost effective, and plus as things go up, we're
That's
locked
what I
in
was
that
gonna say,
rate.
things
so-
keep going up,
Yeah.
so we
It's
need
been
to,
low,
yeah.
and we did have just a very small increase in the premium, like, just a little over $1,000 increase. That's, our value went up. They try to update our values every year, every
All
other
the
year.
new buses and the new vehicles.
And, right, we did
Yeah.
add last year's buses, 2 buses, this year 2 buses, and then 2 vehicles, so our liability insurance for the fleet went up.
Yeah.
So all it would take would be one main storm to come through here,
And wipe us out.
and we would be locked into rates. I don't see them going lower. And I did want to say that we do have Chase here from Carlisle Insurance. If you have any specific questions or need to ask him, he's more than willing to answer your questions. Please.
Yeah, you can come on up.
Sure.
Be happy to answer any questions you have.
So I think they were asking about the coverage and,
Yeah, right now, we're in a 2-year agreement. Y'all's rates are locked in, so your rates didn't go up, like Ms. Stansberry was saying. Your values went up, your number of buses went up, so that's why there was a slight uptick in your premium. But your rate was actually locked in last year, and it would expire 2018. Rates have come down since then, so the company's come back to us and said, hey, you know, rather than keep them at this rate, even though the market rate has come down a little bit, we're willing to adjust that rate down a little bit, and we can push it out 2 more years if they're interested. And like she said, it locks your rates in. If we have a hurricane this year, you're not gonna expect your rates to go up next year. You're locked in.
any other questions?
We accept the recommendation on insurance.
I second it. Motion by Mr. Stansberry, a second by Mrs. Branch. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you for your business.
Thank you for coming. The next item on the agenda is an offer to purchase tax sale properties, and there's quite a few. There was a total of 11. Do any of the board members have any questions or concerns regarding the tax sale properties?
And I'll get them back on the tax rolls.
But it's fast, it's not, a bit more like, I guess you're in Ramsey County, so Ramsey County's gonna get all the taxes and stuff.
That's true, a lot of them are in this county.
We can cover them.
There's actually around stuff, maybe a couple.
A portion comes to a little bit over $7,000 back to the district, so I don't think that's too bad of a deal. So,
Not every little bit helps.
and plus getting you back on tax.
Plus they're getting back on tax.
Any other questions or concerns? Do I have a motion to approve the sales?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Rector,
Second.
second by Mr. Molinax, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The next item on the agenda are the principal's reports. The 2016-2017 benchmark data and corrective accelerated plans will be presented by our campus principals. Hello. Always nice to see you.
Not even standing. At the high school, we did benchmark for everybody, but we took the 5 tested areas, English 1, English 2, algebra, biology, and U.S. history, and that's where we focus our tutorial on. And you have the handout there to show those scores. And the teachers take that information and target the instruction accordingly. We have tutorials Monday through Thursday, 3:45 to 4:45, and have a bus run in. We have Saturday school. They beg, borrow, and do whatever they can to get the kids to come. Yeah, and usually the closer you get, the more show up. That's where we're at now.
Good.
Any questions on?
As long as we're offering tutorials and targeting those at-risk students.
And right now, the focus is English, and after spring break, we'll focus on the others, but if you start too soon, they may come a little bit and stop, so that's where we're at there.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
At Basic Blunt, we've kind of did the same thing. We did the benchmarks for our 10 star tested areas. And we, on top of our usual tutorial times in we've been doing Tuesday, Thursday, alternate schedule to focus on some tutorials and remediation. On top of that, we'll be doing Saturday schools and the 4 dates listed there. And kind of along the same lines, right now we're focusing on math and 8th grade math and reading, and then 7th grade writing will be the first round of tests. And then we'll reset and focus on the other tests.
How do you address students that aren't responding, or parents that aren't responding, to get those kids into tutorials?
Really what our plan is with the STAR tutorials is we're going to send letters, we're going to encourage all kids to come, but we're going to send letters specifically to the students that didn't perform up to standard on those benchmarks, and then subsequent assessments after those benchmarks. But we're going to send letters home, make phone calls, and try to target those kids and get those kids in for those Saturday schools. But it'll be open to everybody.
We beat them.
But
Yeah, you got right on
We try to beat them on Saturdays, and then teachers will have individual incentives too. So
Yeah.
they work hard to get everybody there, and
Yeah.
it's ongoing battle, but they work at it.
Yeah, we thought maybe run the bus or something to pick them up.
We've done that before.
You know, they have bus transportation on Saturday.
On Saturdays, I did it at the middle school, I haven't done it at the high school.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have thought of that or not.
We can look at it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good evening. So for Charlie Marshall, you have that information in front of you, and we have the benchmark scores for 4th grade math, reading, and writing, and then 5th grade math, reading, and science. And I think it's important to note on those that the benchmarks were tested information from the beginning of the school year until they took it, which is December. And so I put the mock STAR benchmarks following that. And that's where we will stop and actually test the way we're going to on test day for STAR. And so what we're doing with that information right now, for instance, on the writing, that benchmark was only on the revising and editing portion because the writing part is second semester that she's teaching. And since that time, on the 9th, actually last week, she went to a STAR-focused writing where they studied the rigorous writing expectations and the learn strategies for staying on topic in the 26-line restriction that they have also. And so what we've been doing is looking at the assessed curriculum that's put out as well as the blueprints because the STAR test changes basically every year. Something has been different. And so for our campus this year, the test has been shortened so that 85% of the kids finish within 2 hours. You know, they have 4 hours to take it. So those blueprints show us in reporting categories how many multiple choice questions are in there. So we've been looking at that so we can specifically target our tutorials towards the what they need to know for those specific TEKs, and then diving into the data to show us where we were low in those specific TEKs. So our tutorials, I wrote on there, 4th and 5th grade is actually during the day. They each have a time so that all kids are reached for tutorials. And that's new for one of the grade levels this year. They didn't have it for both last year. And those tutorials are fluid grouping based on the benchmark data that's given. One thing that we also did was called Mathletes, and that was 5th grade math tutorials. And we ran it from November 14th to January 24th. And it was after school. We averaged about 50 kids that stayed after school. We had high school kids that came over every single afternoon, Monday through Thursday, to help. And even one grandfather every day. I don't know if he was there to learn it or help his granddaughter. And then last is that we will, as we get our data back from the STAR benchmarks, we will set up tutorials before after school to help us with this.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Last but not least.
Good evening. I have a pretty extensive 8-slide presentation for you. I'm not going to talk about all of them, but I just want to make sure you had all of them. And the reason I did that is because we are an early childhood campus as well as all the way through 3rd grade. Our 3rd grade is the STAR testing grade. And we're doing all the same things that the other principals are doing, my colleagues are doing as well. One of the things I want to draw your attention to is that in our benchmarks, we focus really hard. We are focusing very hard on the reading aspect of the STAR testing. And that's not just at 3rd and 2nd grade. That's at early childhood as well. I was as taking this job, instructed that we need to really focus in on ensuring that our students are at grade level for reading at 3rd grade. And so I took that a little bit more seriously, and I said, well, they need to be on grade level at 2nd grade as well. And so we put things into place to ensure that we're identifying those kids who are in need. So I wanted to just draw your attention to one thing. On the 2nd page, if you flip over 2 pages, on the back of that page it has some red and green and one orange number. I wanted you to see that because those are the areas in which we focus in on as well. Now, it's not always about the STAR testing, especially at early childhood. We're looking at how well these students can identify letters, how well they can identify what they're actually looking at as a word and putting words together. So we're doing really well in that area, but there's always more room for improvement. I also wanted to ensure that you understood what we're doing for tutorials. So we have been placing high emphasis on professional learning communities this year, and at the 3rd grade and 2nd grade level. We will also do some of that at the early childhood level as well, but most of the push is at the 3rd and 2nd grade level. We provide tutorials every day during the regular school hours, and we provide that for an hour every day. Also on Mondays, we ensure that our teachers are given the opportunity for professional learning community time to take the assessments that they've been doing, the mini assessments, all of their individual assessments they're doing in the classroom, taking that data and then rearranging the students every week. So that those students who might have been tier 3 being the most intensive need student for that particular reading or math would then receive that intensive instruction that they need at tier 3. If they went from tier 3 to tier 2, that doesn't mean that they're going to not receive instruction. They're still receiving that intensive instruction, yet we're making sure that we're targeting also the peak area that they are deficient in. So those students change throughout every week. They change from group to group and from teacher to teacher. And that's what's been focused in on this year, is to ensure that we are setting up the students with the right teachers and looking at the right peak for that student.
So on tutorials, if it's done during the day, what if you have a student that has another class that's conflicting to the tutorials and can't make it? Is that offered either before or after school, or are there any other options for that, or?
We have no conflicts with our schedule. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation. The next item on the agenda is an action item. Information was provided to the board for the call for election to be held on May 6, 2017, to elect 4 trustees for full 4 terms each. The terms are as follows. Place 1, 4-year term currently held by Rudy Abrego. Place 2, 4-year term currently held by John Molinax. Place 5, 4-year term currently held by David Rector. Place 7, 4-year term currently held by Terry Stansberry. Does the board have any questions or concerns? For public information, January 18th was the first day to file an application for place on a ballot. February 17th is the last day to file for the place on a ballot by 5 p.m. February 21st will be the deadline for write-in candidate to file declaration by 5 p.m. And early voting will start on April 24th. Any questions or concerns by the board? Do you have a motion to approve the call for election?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Rector, second by Ms. Branch. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. The next item on the agenda is an information item. This time is set aside for any board member to address any topics for future meetings. Discussion of old business should be listed as a separate item on the agenda in order to comply with the Open Meetings Act. Any items by any board members on the agenda? Thanks. I would like to invite the NJROTC to be recognized at our next board meeting, considering their 12th year going to state in a row. I mean, we'd love to have them as guests and to be recognized by the board.
And maybe the HOSA, because we've got 2 girls that
Oh, that's
qualified
great.
for state HOSA, which is being held in Corpus.
Yeah,
So,
Corley and
and
Ray.
last year we had 1, this year we got 2 candidates that are going up for state
That's a
competition.
great program.
So,
It's equal billing. We had NJROTC with Roland Rodriguez early last week. And we'll do the same thing with Olson in a couple of weeks. We just want to do it closer to their competition. So
I didn't get up there early in the morning, but I recorded it.
yeah,
It was early.
I saw it. Anything else? The next item on the agenda is for the board to convene an executive session as authorized by the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code 551.001, concerning any and all purposes permitted by the Act, Section 551.04, 551.01, 551.082, 552.0821, 551.083, and 551.029. We'll now convene an executive session. Thank you. business being before the board, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you. Thank you all for waiting. Happy Valentine's Day.